Welcome to the Cyclical Doula Podcast. I'm Emma, a certified SymptoPro instructor, a fertility awareness educator, and your guide to fertility coaching and reproductive health education from menarche to menopause and all the different types of motherhood in between. If you're seeking a natural, science-backed approach to managing your fertility, understanding your cycle, or simply connecting with your body in a new way, you're in the right place. Each episode is designed to empower you with the tools, knowledge, and confidence you need to thrive in your unique journey. Quick disclaimer, this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice or individualized charting support. For specific guidance, please consult with your healthcare provider or fertility awareness instructor. Now, let's dive into today's topic.
Welcome to the space where cycles breathe, where the real raw life of a mama leads. From motherhood's highs to charting the low, your body's story is the star of the show. Matriarch heart.
Welcome back to the Cyclical Doula Podcast. Today, I'm answering another important question. What's it like to work with me when you're trying to avoid pregnancy? So many of us have been in the situation of wanting to stop using any different type of hormonal birth control, but are really scared of getting pregnant and wondering what it would look like to work with me to avoid pregnancy naturally. So if you have been using the pill, the patch, the IUD, or on the Depo-Provera shot for years, it's normal. And even if you haven't, even if you just haven't been using anything or condoms or any of that, it's normal to feel nervous about switching to a different family planning option, right? Especially if it's hormone free, especially if it feels like it puts a lot more weight on you. Maybe you've heard myths about natural birth control, that it's unreliable, or maybe you're not sure how to track your cycle without the app doing all the guesswork for you. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about fertility awareness-based methods and how done correctly, they can be just as effective as hormonal birth control options without all the side effects. So I'll walk you through what it would look like to work together, how I help women learn how to chart their cycles, gain confidence, and avoid pregnancy naturally. I'll also share some myths I love busting along the way and a couple of stories to show how powerful this approach can be. So when I talk to people about why they're ready to stop hormonal birth control, answers usually are something like, I don't like how this makes me feel. I want to know my real cycle. Or I want something natural, but I just don't want to risk an unplanned pregnancy. I get it. So many of us were taught that hormonal birth control is the only reliable way to avoid pregnancy. In fact, many of us were put on it as teens with little explanation, often to regulate our cycles. Which, by the way, if you don't know it yet, it doesn't actually do. Hormonal birth control doesn't regulate anything. Its usual mode of action is to shut down ovulation entirely. So then, years later, when you come off it, you're left with a lot of questions. Things like, how does my body actually work? When am I fertile and when am I not? And can I really trust my cycle to avoid pregnancy? So here's what I want you to know. Fertility awareness-based methods they're not about guessing. When you understand your body's daily fertility signs, you know exactly which days pregnancy is possible and which days aren't. And that knowledge can be freeing and empowering. And I want everybody to feel that. I also want to put a quick disclaimer out here that this is not going to work for everybody. There are seasons, people, situations where other family planning methods need to be involved, and fertility awareness-based methods are not going to work for everybody. And I do know that, but I do think there's a huge need to learn more about how our bodies work, and that there's seasons that fertility awareness based methods could work for most people in today's society. So let's get into what it would look like working together. So the first step with working with me is I'm always going to recommend a free 30-minute inquiry call. This is where we're going to talk about you, right? We're going to talk about what you've been using in the past, why you're ready to switch now, what concerns or fears have come up around avoiding pregnancy naturally, What are your goals, either short term or long term? We'll talk about your cycle history, your lifestyle, and what kind of support you need to feel confident in using a fertility awareness based method. This call is going to be no pressure. It's just going to be a conversation to see if we're going to be the right fit for learning together. Then, if we do feel like it's the right fit, we'll move forward and begin with our learning sessions. And these usually are about three 90-minute sessions that are spaced a few weeks apart to give you some time to start charting in between sessions. And so when we're working together, I teach a sympto-thermal method, which is a science-backed approach that combines basal body temperature, which is your resting temperature, and cervical fluid observations. And that tells us those changes in the cervical fluid and the basal body temperature to help us know when your fertile window opens and when it closes in real time, because our hormones in our body change and help those things change. Some clients also use things like LH test or progesterone test as a cross check for additional peace of mind in that. So when you're avoiding pregnancy, we focus on identifying those fertile and infertile days. And with that instruction and practice, the sympto-thermal method can be up to 99% effective, which is quite comparable to the method effectiveness of other family planning options. But you don't have a lot of those side effects or hormones in your body as well. So daily charting looks like taking your basal body temperature in the morning before getting out of bed. During the day, being aware of what your cervical fluid is doing, both visually and sensation-wise. And then recording what you see during the day, either in your app or on a paper chart. So this probably takes like 5 minutes per day. And building the habits take a little bit more time, but once you get in that season of feeling like you got it all, it's a few minutes a day, and that can be so empowering to just know your body in a completely different way. So right now I teach through two different symptothermal options. I teach through an organization. I'm a certified SymptoPro instructor. So SymptoPro is an organization that has a highly effective symptothermal method that's been helping couples plan and avoid pregnancy for decades. It's a Catholic organization, so their resources reflect that in regards to morals and intentions. I am also certifying with the Fertility Knowledge Collective as of recording this in the fall of 2025. And the Fertility Knowledge Collective uses the exact same, like similar symptothermal foundation, and it brings in insights into those hormonal patterns and flexible protocol for a secular science-based approach. So through all of my experiences and all of my continued education, I bring that to all of my clients and have these details of helping couples in all seasons of life. So what you'll learn in these sessions is how to confidently identify days that you are infertile, where you can't get pregnant, and days when pregnancy is possible. You'll learn how to avoid pregnancy naturally, with or without barriers, depending upon what that looks like for you during that fertile time, and how to trust your chart even if your cycles aren't textbook perfect. I offer these both in one-on-one and group courses, depending how much personalized support you want. And most sessions are online live for convenience, but I also meet in person if you're local to the Charleston, South Carolina area. Hey friend, quick pause before we keep going with today's episode. If you've been curious about learning to chart your cycle, but the whole thing feels just a little overwhelming, I made something just for you. It's my 14-day charting challenge. It's a completely free experience inside my private community. For 2 weeks, you'll have the opportunity to go through simple daily practices that will help you tune into your body's natural rhythms without pressure, without perfection, and without needing to know anything ahead of time. You'll get a chart to use, 3 short, confident building lessons, and a supportive space where you can actually start to understand what your body is showing you. It's all bite-sized and totally doable, even if life feels super full. So if you've been wanting to learn a fertility awareness-based method or just feel more connected to your cycle, come join us. You can sign up at the link in the show notes or going to my website, emma.com, and clicking on the free charting challenge. All right, let's get back to the episode. A lot of us didn't know, or might not still know, that there's only about 5 to 7 days per cycle when pregnancy is possible. And so every other day of the cycle is naturally infertile, either before ovulation begins or after it's confirmed. And with charting, you can identify those days of possible fertility and have peace of mind on other days, which can skyrocket your intimacy life as a couple. Learning fertility awareness isn't just about memorizing rules, it's about having ongoing support when you build confidence. So, after your learning sessions, we'll continue to meet and check in on your charts. Ideally, we'll meet live every 2 to 4 weeks, and I'll review your charts with you, answer questions, and troubleshoot things that come up in life, like travel or irregular schedules, illness and sleep disruptions, stress, and postpartum perimenopause transitions, things like that. I always want to encourage women to bring their partners alongside of them so that their responsibility doesn't involve just you. But that's not the case for everybody. So, whatever works best for you is good with me, but it can help improve communication and helps making avoidant pregnancy a shared commitment. I also offer lifetime messaging support. So, even months or years later, you can reach out to me with questions about your cycle, new life stages, or anything else that might come up. All right, let's tackle a few big myths about using a fertility awareness-based method. So many people think that fertility awareness-based methods aren't effective because they're the same as the rhythm method. And the rhythm method, or sometimes called the calendar method, is based on assuming that every woman has a 28-day cycle and therefore ovulates on cycle day 14, which is not the case. Many people ovulate on various days throughout their cycles and their lifetimes. And so fertility awareness-based methods use daily real-life fertility signs to see if that particular day is fertile or infertile, and if you can get pregnant on that day. So it's way more accurate, and you're able to have that daily fertility status. The second myth is that it's not going to work if your cycles are irregular. And based on what I just told you, you might be able to figure this out. But fertility signs are going to, again, give you real time information. And so it doesn't matter if your cycle is 28 days, 20 days, or 365 days, you are still going to be able to understand when you have the ability to get pregnant and when there's signs that your body is telling you that there is estrogen building up and that fertile cervical mucus may be present and all of those things. So we'll talk through all of that. And then the third myth is that it's too hard or time consuming to learn a fertility awareness based method. And I just want to stress that physical charting only takes a few minutes a day, and it becomes a habit that's second nature within a few months. But that building time can be a lot of building those habits, especially taking your temperature every day, especially if your sleep schedule's a little wonky. And so I want to acknowledge that it does take some practice, but that's why I'm here to support you. And that's one of the things I love doing is just helping walk women through learning those and being able to see the confidence boost when they figure it out and they have that ready to go. So once you learn these skills, you have them for life, whether you want to avoid pregnancy now, plan for kids later, or navigate postpartum or perimenopause. Fertility awareness-based methods work for all seasons of reproductive life, and I'll be here to support you whenever you need it. If you've been curious about stopping hormonal birth control or you are ready to feel more in tune with your body, the best first step is to book a free inquiry call. So let's just sit down and have a conversation about whether or not these methods fit your lifestyle and your goals in this season. You can find the link in my show notes or at emma.com/free, emma.com/free. If you've ever wondered, can I really avoid pregnancy naturally and feel confident? The answer is yes. You just need to trust your body, have the right information, and you'll be all set. All right, I'll see you next time. Thanks for spending this time with me on the Cyclical Doula Podcast. If today's episode helped you feel more connected to your cycle or empowered on your fertility journey, I'd love for you to share it with a friend or leave a review. It really helps this podcast reach more people like you. And if you're ready to dive deeper, join my free Red Circle community. It's where we go beyond the podcast with exclusive resources, live Q&A sessions, and support for charting, planning, and thriving in your cyclical life. Visit the show notes to join the Red Circle today. I can't wait to see you there. Until next time, keep listening to your body. It's telling you so much more than you realize.
Welcome to the space where cycles breathe, where the real raw life of a mama leads, from motherhood's highs to charting the low. Your body's story is the star of the show. Matriarch hearts, cycles that speak, charting the truth in every peak. This is the cyclical doula sound, where body wisdom is always found. Matriarch hearts, cycles that speak, charting the truth in every peak. This is the cyclical doula sound, where body wisdom is always found. Matriarch hearts, matriarch hearts, cycles that speak, charting the truth in every peak. This is the cyclical doula sound, where body wisdom is always found. Matriarch hearts, cycles that speak, charting the truth in every peak. This is the cyclical doula sound, where body wisdom is always found. Matriarch hearts, matriarch cycles that speak, charting the truth in every peak. This is the cyclical doula sound, where body wisdom is always found. Matriarch hearts, matriarch hearts, cycles that speak, charting the truth in every peak. This is the cyclical doula sound, where body wisdom is always found.